Oyster harvesting is a traditional practice in the Gambia and serves as a vital source of income and nutrition for many local communities. The oysters are typically collected from the mangrove forests along the shores of the River Gambia, predominantly by women. Cecilia Sambu and Elizabeth Jata are among over 20 women oyster harvesters in Meme in Jokado district in the Northern region. Cecilia, a mother of 5, has been in the trade for over 30 years, waking up as early as 3 or 4 a.m. to scout for oysters along the estuary. Initially, these women had little or no knowledge of oyster harvesting and faced significant risks due to high tides and their lack of swimming skills. They depend on small, locally crafted canoes, machetes, or axes for harvesting and often lack essential safety equipment such as life jackets, boots, and gloves. However, driven by poverty and the need to provide for their families, they kept going, using the income generated to send their children to school and feed their households.
I started harvesting oysters over 30 years ago without a clue of how it is done because I had no other work to do. But I had to learn because this is how I can send my kids to school and take care of my family.
Elizabeth Jata's story mirrors that of Cecilia. Introduced to the trade by her husband, Elizabeth began harvesting oysters 4 years ago, waking up every morning at 4 a.m. with hopes of generating income to support her family.
I met my husband while he was harvesting oysters, and I followed suit because I didn't have any skills or other works. He trained me how to harvest. This is how we feed our family and cover our children's school expenses.
With the risks involved, some may assume these women harvest a substantial amount of oysters daily. But Elizabeth noted that on a good day, they can collect up to 10 pounds, while on a bad day like today, she managed only to have 2 pounds from 4 a.m. to noon, and when processed, it becomes far less. Oyster harvesting period in the Gambia lasts for 4 months. On average, Elizabeth and Cecilia say they earn about $5,000 a month, facing numerous challenges along the way.
When I make 5,000 a month, I will thank God because there is no money in this business, full of risks. What can we do?
Due to the nature of their work, women like Cecilia and Elizabeth often struggle to find time for their children and families, as they must focus on providing for their livelihoods.
It is very hard for me because sometimes I don't even have time to prepare my kids for school. I woke up as early as 3 a.m. to go find oysters, and by the time we return, it is already 5 p.m. I have no option but to do this to provide for them.
After harvesting, oysters are primarily supplied to local and regional markets, cooked before being removed from their cells. The value chain includes harvesting, processing, and distribution, with a growing emphasis on developing new oyster products and byproducts. Cecilia now finds herself facing health issues such as short-sightedness due to the smoke produced while preparing the oysters after harvesting.
I can't see far now due to the smoke when we are processing the oysters. We really need help.
According to a report from Science Direct in 2023, aquaculture production and productivity, including oysters, have declined in the Gambia, dropping from 35 metric tons in 2017 to 33 metric tons in 2020, mainly attributed to unsustainable practices and the effects of climate change. A baseline study in 4 regions indicated that about 82.4% of households surveyed in the Gambia were affected by at least one climate change crisis in the past 5 years, confirming the country's vulnerability to climatic stressors. These women are witnessing their livelihoods slowly disappear, partly due to climate change, which is adversely affecting the mangrove ecosystem where oysters thrive. They face challenges such as higher surface temperatures, rising sea levels, and changes in ocean currents. If CO2 emissions remain high, oyster stocks are projected to decline by up to 80% by the end of the century. Other challenges include ocean acidification, which weakens oyster cells, making them more vulnerable to predators and disease. The decline in oyster population due to these factors directly impact the income and food security of women oyster harvesters like Elizabeth and Cecilia, who rely on this activity for their livelihoods. This situation underscores the urgent need for sustainable aquaculture practices, investment in research and technology, and collaboration among stakeholders to address the challenges posed by climate change. Another recent concern is the destruction of wetlands, which environmental experts have strongly cautioned against.
We have destroyed diverse mangrove ecosystems there, so which in turn will have a devastating effect on our daily livelihood. Habitat destruction, and those species that are dwelling in these mangroves will have to be displaced. So here we are destroying our ecosystem, especially this mangrove, and they are the life sustenance of wetlands, socio-economic livelihoods, because without wetlands, we are not getting anything for our daily sustenance.
For Cecilia and Elizabeth, any means of support to adopt to new methods will be appreciated, as they have been enduring a lot just to make a living and take care of their families. In the Gambia, women make up over half of the population. However, they face significant economic challenges, including limited access to capital, markets, and training, along with gender-based discriminations. These issues are further exacerbated by factors such as poverty, lack of education, and social norms that restrict women's economic opportunities. Maria Madem, reporting for StarTV News.